What's going on, everybody? It's Reggie with R3 Speed Stab, and today we're talking about all things Grands. That's right, baby. We just got back from Cup Karts Grand Nationals. It's Tuesday. Got a full report, a full review of the weekend, including a massive flip that happened. Did we get punted? An accident? All kinds of drama this weekend, as usual, as you would expect, with the race that had over 620 entries, one of the biggest races of all time. Come along, we're going to do a race recap, we're going to do a video breakdown. In addition, we're going to do a quick shop tour and remind everybody that we're also a kart shop here, selling karts, parts, services, video coaching, data review, remote, as well as at the track. So should be a fun episode. Watch along, let's go for a ride real quick. Here we go, let's hit the shop. Here we go, we're back in the shop from Grands. You might notice it looks pretty good right now. You're gonna have to apologize for the echo. It's the best I could do for the moment. Shop looks pretty clean. That's because the trailer has actually yet to be unloaded. These are just carts that we pulled out. This was the backup, which we stripped down because we thought we were gonna switch over to this after we tacoed that one up and ended up switching it all back. So this got all torn apart, put back together, and then pieces here and there everywhere. We got a brand new one sitting over here ready to go. I got some engines in, one's us, one's customer, service work. We got RJ's cart available. This cart is available, guys, as it was raced, as it came off the racetrack at Grands. Still got the tech seals on there. Still got the weekend seal as it sits. If you're interested in this cart, the other one, this has a race day on it, a race weekend on it, and maybe 2 practice days. It's basically brand new. Brand new out of the box, never put together, available as a roller or a build to suit. Any of these are available with the Mini, with the Micro, with a 206 as a roller, our engine, your engine, however you might want them set up. We're happy to try and accommodate y'all. But this is what we got going on in the shop. My old CTS with a KA on it right now. That one's about the only one that I would say not for sale. Otherwise, got our lathe. Frame table, dedicated frame table, super thick, heavy top. This is a table that is not going anywhere. A couple chop saws, our tooling stock, all of our parts and pieces up there, molds, leads, old nuts and bolts, sander, grinding disc wheel. Got a customer cart up there that we just finished, old Cadet GFC that we won last year with, track champion, record holding cart. I don't know really what to do with that yet. We still have it there. We're still using it. Somebody wanted it. It's also available. Got the shop press in the background. Old supercart in the background. New supercart hanging out under there. Air compressor. Tooling. Scale table with all support tools. It's a big thing on the scale table, guys. It's one thing to have the table. It's another to have all the tooling, to fix the yokes, the spindles, the stuff that goes into this. It's much, much more than just the machine itself. I'm missing some pieces that are in here. They're actually in our scale box over there as we took our scales to the weekend. And then we got our milling machine. So we got a full service shop here, ready to serve you for anything you may need. But this is our Grands car, baby. Sat at the top, multiple sessions. Turned some of the fastest laps of the weekend. Definitely a cart capable of winning any race it enters right now. With the right driver. Everything on it, latest and greatest, absolute best of the best. Brand new smoker gear setup on it. AIM Micron, full camera setup. Just a really nice cart, man. Everything I could do to make it good. So that's what's the current state of the shop. Clean, not clean, full, not full. Let's watch some video, people. Let's watch them go past 17 carts in the final. It's a good one. All right, so here we go in the heat race, and man, this was after we had charged up a bunch of positions here. This was our Saturday night session race that had been delayed already by a red flag, and heat was just on a tear. The cart was really handling well, and we had been buried back in the field, thanks to myself, yours truly, earlier in a warm-up, leaving a wheel loose. In between our AM and PM sessions on Friday and Saturday, I left a wheel loose at some point in time working on the cart, and that resulted in a wheel coming off and warm-ups just after our out lap which resulted in a 5-second time penalty being enforced in the next session, which was our second heat race. And I want to say we started that race somewhere around 24th. I'm not really sure. Set us back in addition to not learning anything that we were looking at and that we had tried in the warm-ups, and that really hurt us as much as anything. Made a bad adjustment for the heat race, and we were slow. We didn't move up very many spots. We had a difficult time passing, and ultimately just put us, again, back in traffic here that really resulted in the flip that's forthcoming. And you're pretty much done at that point. It's very difficult to come back from something like this, a mistake this big. It's too big of an event. It's too much going on. It's too many karts, too many people that are really fast to try to contend with. And despite our best efforts, we just didn't get the kart back to where it was before we flipped it, and it was damaged pretty significantly. We did have it over with the guys at the Peranzo frame table. I'm sure I'm completely butchering their name, and I apologize well in advance here, but there are some awesome dudes, just badass guys that are really good at their craft, passionate about what they're doing, really, again, hardworking. Very thankful to have him there at the races. We were ultimately going to go to a backup car. When I saw the damage, I thought there was no way it was going to be fixable. And several hours later, we had pretty much got the backup to the point where it was getting close. And at that point in time, somebody suggested that Daniel Guerra's car, Daniel Dragonov's car was wrecked pretty bad, but they were able to fix it, and it looked pretty good. We should take it over and have those guys look at it. And I thought, well, what the heck, it's worth going to look at with where we were at. And the biggest reason why is with cup karts, if you go to a backup engine or a backup kart, it's an automatic penalty to the rear of the field in your next race. And for us, that would have been the final. And we obviously didn't want to start the final dead last. So we rolled the frame over there. Those guys spent a good 2 hours on it. We waited in line for a while, and we got the kart back, and it was a very late night getting everything else done. Went through the whole front end, right? Caster, camber, toe, sweep. We had broken parts to replace, had everything to reassemble and switch back over from the backup back to the primary. And ultimately, we got it back pretty good. Just not quite the piece it was before. And we can talk about that a little in the race. But watch coming up here. We'll get to the flip. And after he's passed all that karts, wait for it. You guys be the judge. I think it's a racing incident, but kind of got tapped from behind there. That was enough to shove him over, and there we go. So here we are now rolling on the start of the main, and we're green. Huge field of karts in this final. Really was a clean lap, the out lap. Thought the kids did a great job all weekend long, given how many karts were out on the track. 50 of the best kids in the country. Still got a pretty varying degree of skill level from the kids at the very front to the back. So just an event this size, man, again, 620 entries, I think over 520 individual unique drivers, and it's got to go down as one of the biggest car races of all time. Just nuts, the amount of people that was there. And the car was pretty good. You watch the video, it looks pretty good. The guys at the frame jig really did a good job setting it up. They tweaked on it after warm-ups, and we debated making another change in relation to the track changing, and ultimately decided against it because we just didn't know what was going to happen. We really didn't know what the kart was going to do after they tweaked it again. We were hopeful that might take out some of the issue that we were having, and other than just checking the front end setting, we ended up not doing anything. We had rescaled it, and it was close to how it was before we left the shop, so we were just kind of happy with it. And you can see in the video here, ultimately ended up fighting a push on the tight left-handers, and that was a killer to really move forward any more than we already were. Really good in the 90s here. I think turn 1, 2, 3, and 4, we were as good as just about anybody really was going through there, especially when he had his hands smooth. I mean, that's a nice turn there for the most part. Kart looked great in those turns, just not that great in the sharper lefts. It would bind up, not want to roll and release, and slowed him down onto the straight. So if we had one more session, we probably could have got it back to where it was before it was involved in the flip. It was good though, man. Had a hard time passing, but this again goes back to Wednesday, this weekend. It's about a 9.5 hour drive for us, factoring in by the time you stop. And we left about 7 in the morning, got in about 4:30, something like that. Already was a huge line of cars, trucks, and trailers to get in. Sounds like people were lined up Tuesday, and then obviously lined up all day Wednesday. Got to say a huge thank you to the folks at Newcastle, because they just worked their tails off the entire time. Had to been some very long days working to get everybody parked, and tireless, thankful job. And we were just really appreciative of them. They were helping everybody out. Ultimately had to put the truck and the trailer in a different spot because of the way our layout worked, and basically got both carts pitted and had to ferry everything over from the trailer late into the RV. It was a late day getting everything eventually settled where we wanted on Wednesday, but we were ready to go for Thursday practice, which was it was eventful. I was happy with how Thursday practice went. Did start off very good. Our first practice, we were definitely slow. We were probably 2.5 seconds off of where the leaders were, but we weren't sure because the timing app wasn't working. They didn't turn it on until the third session, so we were kind of in the dark. We had timed a few other people that we thought were quick in relation to where we were, and we knew we were off quite a bit. So we changed 3 things, I think, from the first practice to the second. We made a chassis change, a gearing change, and an air pressure change. Definitely seemed like it was the right direction, but we still weren't there, so we went a little bit further on the end of those, and by the third session, I think we were quick time. If we weren't quick in the third session, we were definitely quick in the fourth, or we were right up there. We had pretty much gotten it close to where we wanted it to be by the end of the fourth session, and we were just kind of trying some different things, trying to learn, looking forward to the racetrack changing, what we were going to do, what we weren't going to do, those sorts of things. So Friday moving forward was broken up into a morning session and an afternoon session, and on Friday we were the morning session, Saturday we were the afternoon session. So we had a big gap in between our Fridays and Saturdays, but Friday essentially consisted of a warm-up and a qualifying and a heat race, and that all went pretty good. We were really fast in our warm-up, I think is what they called it. We had put on a new set of tires basically before the qualifying. We wanted to get a mock qualifying run, and we set quick time in that session, but when qualifying came around, I don't think we adjusted quite enough. Ultimately, qualifying 9th, just making the top 10, that was a bit of a disappointment. We were really looking for a top 5, and I thought we were capable of pole, but it just wasn't in the cards. With how it played out for us, we didn't adjust far enough. First heat race went pretty well, starting 9th, ultimately finished 7th, which was a good start. It was good points. We passed some people, we learned some things, and we didn't have the greatest setup, I thought, but we were right there and competitive. Got to punch a bunch of cars back and forth, really tight racing. Top 2 or 3 broke away, and the rest of the kids were all pretty much mixing it up the whole time, and that led us into a big period of time between finishing up early on Friday and then not having anything until later on Saturday. And basically the next thing on Saturday was the warm-up, which was somewhere around 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Left with a lot of time, and some of that was good. There was a few things we wanted to change. One thing specifically was had to take an axle out because we were swapping over from the gear setup we were on, as I needed to drop down more than where I was. I was already on a 21 front driver. Really didn't want to go any bigger than that to get where I wanted to go, and also I didn't have any 22s. Sure, somebody there did, but it was already over where I wanted to be at 20 and 21, so I finally decided to go ahead and pull the trigger on the smoker setup. The guys were there. He responded to a message I sent through Instagram. I found him. I looked at the parts. Really high quality, really nice work. I just felt like it was time to make the investment in it, and yeah, the axle needed to come out from that, so we needed to drop gear from where we were. That seemed like the best way to get there. Shout out to those guys being at the track and having the parts that we needed. Got another bunch of stuff this weekend that was new to us, the gear setup obviously, but we also started flipping our tires session over session. First time we've done that. First time we were using a heat scraper. I've seen a lot of other people doing it. It just felt like it was something we needed to do if we were going to continue getting better and getting every last little bit that we could across the board. Tires are certainly something we still have a lot to learn on. So you can see on the final, man, he's really on a tear for the most part, moving forward almost the entire race. Again, hard charger, ultimately going from 22nd to 7th. So that was 15 carts that we passed, and I'm sure he passed more than that in the grand scheme of things. You know, we were pretty encouraged watching Daniel Dragunov drive through the field. people we've kind of become friends with and their family. Just nice parents, nice kid, and really fast, independent operation that we have a lot of respect for them and what they're doing. So it was cool to see him do it. And after seeing that, we thought, if they can do it, start at the back of the sportsman field and then pass however many carts it was, 23 carts or whatever. It's a pretty incredible drive. What an accomplishment. And man, again, the lefts here just killing us, binding up really hard. How hard to have a big run, really needed to push to pass someone on the straights. I think that was the difference. If we would have had a little bit of a better turn there, could have driven up a little bit higher, maybe up into a podium or something. Who knows? It's tough to say. You really can't make a mistake like that with this type of a weekend and have the expectation you're going to come back from it. It's going to be a hard one for me, really, to let go, both as a dad and as a crew chief, because not only did I let my driver and my team down, but ultimately I let my son down as well. And that's a tough one. It's a tough one to let go of. But as you know, we tell all the time, RJ, when he makes a mistake and he's down on himself, that you look at the sport of racing in general, you think it's an individual sport, and it certainly is in many aspects, but it's also a team sport, and we win as a team and we lose as a team. Unfortunately, this weekend, we let him down in the pits, and I have to say it's possibly the best I've seen RJ drive a complete race. He's really improved with his hands, smoothing his hands out, slowing his hands down, something that we still have a long way to go to work on, but considering where he was at the beginning of the year to where he is now, it's pretty incredible. And I think we're seeing some of those results, and this is a byproduct of all that work. I'm just so proud of him, and understanding it was time to, really work on committing to fixing, and he's been consistent with them. So, man, loose wheel. I keep going back to it, I know, but it's just so difficult. You can tell I'm hung up on it, man. I'd love to say I've never had a wheel come loose before at a big event, but I have one hanging in the shop from Barber Motorsports Park in the supercart, where we were leading a race and somebody missed one wheel nut. The other two eventually got loose on the supercart, man. That much weight, speed, vibration, torque, load. The other two eventually got loose, started walking around on the hub. Wheel came off, cost us a win. So it's been some time, but simple mistakes like that will ultimately undo you, and we try to be diligent with it. But everybody makes mistakes. We make mistakes in the shop. We make them at the racetrack. Sometimes we make mistakes in the pits, and this weekend it just bit us. We'll try to be better and not happen. It's unfortunate it happened in an event like this. Losing the wheel would have been one thing, but the time penalty, not an unfair rule whatsoever, but in reality, it hurt us. And they don't want stuff coming off the cart for a good reason, right? We don't want to see anybody get hurt at the result of something coming off of a go-kart. But man, what a fun weekend. So many people I've got to thank. The Reinshold family, they were kind enough to loan us a helmet after RJ had his flip. I mean, unfortunately, that helmet is a goner. It was not a cheap helmet, but I would say well worth the money. It did its job. He's safe. He's in one piece, and we can replace a helmet. Obviously can't replace a head. So was very appreciative of them to loaning a helmet to us, and me not having to go in the shop and buy one that we probably weren't going to use again after the fact. So nice to meet you guys. Congratulations on your weekend. Your kid's doing awesome. He's extremely fast for his age, and I'm sure you're going to be driving to the front in the cadet class really soon. The Firesons, man, we met them earlier this year, but we were pitted next to them at this event, and we really enjoyed getting to spend a little more time with them, getting to know them a little bit better. I have to just give them a huge thank you, because we were thrashing Saturday night, and without them and some lights that they were kind enough to put up, really was a huge help to us and would have made the situation a lot more difficult. So I appreciate you guys. It was awesome to see your kids get faster and faster as the weekend went on, and really hopeful we're able to work together more next year. I just can't thank y'all enough for your hospitality and time you spent with us. So Howard Stewart, man, Stewart Racing Engines absolutely gave us an engine capable of winning the race, and at an event like this, that's all you can ask for. Just has been a tremendous partner to us when we needed help. He's there. He returns our text messages. He answers the phone. He returns our phone calls, and very difficult to find an engine builder like that. So huge help he's been to us in our program. I can't recommend him enough to anybody that's in need of the best engine they can go with. I mean, he wins races at a national level. He wins races everywhere he has engines at, so he's doing something right. Just thank you for allowing us to be part of the program. And along those lines, I have to say, man, the Maranello MK5 Cadet absolutely was on rails. We were the only Maranello Cadet on the property, I'm pretty certain of that, and absolutely showed that this kart is as good as anything out right now on the market. Really wish there had been a few more of us to work together and get the data at a quicker pace, but I can't thank Nathan and Maranello USA Vermont Kart Company enough for the opportunity, believing in us, trying to push this thing to the front at a national level. It's really a great kart, a nice bit of kit, extremely top quality, not a throwaway frame, something that you can use for likely the entire time you have a cadet kart if you took care of it. So all those things, speed aside, right? It's just something that we believed in. A great group of people over there at Maranello USA. So thank you guys. Your support and belief, we really appreciate it. I'm sorry we didn't give you a better showing. Certainly gave it everything we had. Mr. Rich, you know who you are. We couldn't do this without you. You've been a supporter of us and our program and our family. We really missed you there and can't wait to see you at the races with us again soon. Obviously, the folks at Cup Karts, they put on a tremendous event, something this size. I can't imagine the logistics that go into it, but they sure pulled it off, managing to pretty much stay on time for the entire event, minus a few red flags. So thank you guys for putting together such an awesome event. And along those lines, thank you to every single person who stopped by to ask about RJ or offer help or kind words about him or the team. Very encouraging, very grateful, a lot of gratitude for that. Really cool to see the support from everybody around this event. And when you see your kid in an accident, it was really nice. Everybody on our team that's contributed to this, my wife, my mom and dad, my mother and father-in-law, RJ, our friends, everybody puts in. It's not an individual effort. There's a lot of work behind the scenes that all those people put in. My mom back at home watching our dogs, taking care of our animals in our house. It's just an endless thing here of people that sacrifice this so we can go racing. So anybody that's a part of that, just want to know we really thank you and can't wait to get back out and do it again. You know, the folks at AIM, Corey was there in the AIM van. That was really cool. We had some camera issues on and off throughout the weekend. And the AIM system, the camera system specifically, is something we rely heavily on for our program and how we go about our racing, our race weekends, how we make adjustments, how we decide what we're going to do, really. So when we lose it, it's a critical piece that goes missing, and he was there to help us out. I don't think it's a surprise to anybody, the stuff that runs AIM. You know, I love them, their products, again, but customer support second to none. Hardware is certainly lacking, hence the racetrack support. And for me, man, it's a deal that I keep a spare of everything that I have on the car. I keep in the trailer, and it's just a reality of running their stuff that you have to do. But Corey at AIM, man, absolutely kept us going, and, you know, appreciative of those guys being there. RJ's getting really excited here. It's getting to be down to the end of the race. We're starting to get close. He's working to try and just keep passing, catching karts, getting close. And closer it gets to the end of the race here, he really starts running them down. I think we came on pretty hard with air pressure at the end. The folks at AIM helped us out, kept us going. They spent a lot of time with me and the kart trying to debug the things. Few things worked, few things didn't. You know, we're a dealer for those guys as well. I believe in them. It's just an incredible product, and I can't recommend it enough to everybody. It's one of the best pieces of free information, help, support, tuning, information that you're going to get that's probably already on your go-kart. So take some time and learn how to use the AIM system, would you? RJ is getting a little frustrated. He knows the laps again, winding down on him. Nobody really wanted to push, if you can imagine that. All the kids pretty much just wanted to pass. Precision Karting Technologies, we run a lot of their stuff. We're a dealer for them as well. Hubs, sprockets, generally lighter than anything else I find. Their quality is really high. The trueness, the bearings, wheel studs, keys, axles, pedals, just second to none in terms of fit and finish, functionality on the racetrack. Looks great doing it, and really good people to do business with. Got to thank the folks, man, at Shaw Stickers. This was the first time we've run a set of their stickers. We got them about a week before the race. She was very pleasant to deal with, very patient as well with me. We had a lot of changes we went back and forth on some of the designs, and I have to say I was happy with how they turned out. Biggest thing for me, man, honest with you, is they were really easy to apply. And anybody that's put on graphics before knows that if you've got a bad set of graphics, it can be incredibly frustrating to try and get them laid down correctly. So these ones went on really nice, and was thankful. I mean, I'm sure it's somebody we're going to continue doing business with for quite some time. You know, got to finally meet Chris at Prodigy Motorsports. Really nice to meet those guys. Another Maranello dealer. I heard nothing but good things about them. Certainly represented themselves well. I think Sketchy ran 9th in Masters, which was a hell of a showing. Certainly better than the 30th some odd place we were able to deliver last year. And hopefully we can get some more karts out there, because they're great. Man, again, just great karts. A lot of good people that are involved with them. Big mistake there for RJ trying to make an early pass. That really set us back here at this point in the race. Had to basically repass all these karts again. But you can see we're getting down to the end here, and no one's really starting to give a whole lot of quarter anymore. Pretty much a pass, corner after corner, lap after lap. I love this layout of the track. Again, you can see his hands just super smooth. He's saying, come on, let's go. We got to run those guys down. And he's right. You're running out of time, homie. You better step on the pedal here. Not much left. When we were watching him from the stands, I really wasn't sure if he was going to catch him or not. And ultimately, have to wait and find out here. Watch this finish, because it's pretty nuts. Kart's just flying right now. It was really interesting. I think we were higher than air pressure on most people almost the whole weekend. Sometimes I think that helped us. Other times it probably hurt us. The final here, I think it really had helped us. I thought we were quicker at the end, and definitely we were seemed faster than the karts around us at this stage in the race. Again, pretty good on that left. But the sharp one coming up here, man, not so much. Can't tell here. I think we got one more. I think we're coming to the white flag right now. Again, gaggle of karts all around. White flag in the air. I don't know where we're running right now, but it's not 7th. I think it's about 11th. Gets a kart there. Still passing. Still working his way up. Running out of time here now. Got 4 in front of him. How many can he get? Let's see. We're going to have to wait and find out. Really smooth through there. Someone gets loose, puts it off in the dirt. This is just going to open up bedlam here. They're going to go 3-4 wide down to the checker. Tries it wide, nothing there. Coming up into the infield hairpin. Nice smooth turn, nowhere to go. Again, bump the kart in front. Can't take advantage of the run. Sets us back. Driving up to him again. Getting close now. Only one more turn to go. Coming up on the last one. The Monza, the I-70 hairpin. Pretty smooth through there despite how tight he kept it. A little sideways. Got a nice draft coming. Where are you going to go? Nowhere to really go. Who are you going to push? Down to the bottom. To the checkered for a 7th. What a finish. Man, I think we got... see, a few laps ago, he's pretty far back on those kids when the air pressure came on. And just can't wait for next year. We're already looking forward to it. It's probably one that's going to be hard for us to miss. It's an extremely high-level competition. Tight, fair racing put on by an organization that does a great job. So... it's our 3-speed and fabrication. If you guys need anything, man, we're here. Full service kart shop. We got the parts. We got the karts. We got the stuff. We'll see you at another one soon. Have a great day. Peace.